I will be joined by my panel made up of 2 loose sisters and 1 loose brother, where we will be talking all things news, views, gossip, and putting prominent people from Wolves in the spotlight as well. Oh, hold on. I don't think we are live. Sorry. Okay, start again. Okay, good evening and welcome to Loose Sisters. I'm your host, Alvina Ali, and I will be joined by my panel made up of 2 loose sisters and 1 loose brother, where we'll be talking all things news, views, gossip, and putting prominent people from Wolves in the spotlight. Now, today's show, we will be discussing age is just a number, and we'll be talking about what a marriageable age is, and then we'll be talking about the average cost of an Asian wedding, questions Pakistani men are dying to ask women as well, and things, if we get time, things if Pakistanis or Indians say. And I think we've got the ideal person here, Iram, who can contribute to that topic as well. And in other news segment as well. So if you would like to take part in the discussion, feel free to ring in on 01902 972 150 or drop a text on 07 440 420 432. So settle back and settle in for more of Loose Sisters. So joining me in the studio and on my panel today, like I said, I've got 2 loose sisters and 1 loose brother. So please, can you guys introduce yourselves? So we'll start off with Zainab, sister.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zainab, and I am a probation officer. I work for Staffordshire and West Midlands Probation Trust. I've also hosted Loose Sisters with Alvina last week, and I did a bit of radio last year with Fawzia Asif, doing culture, cuisine, and career show.
So you're a regular on here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am now.
Right, okay.
Yes, I'm Iram Iqbal. I've been participating with Alvina on the Loose Sisters last year, and I've tried to be, in and out this year as well, but not too many shows yet. I'm an IT project manager by profession. I've got 2 kids, and I'm married to a doctor. That's probably
Thank you. And our loose brother.
Yeah, hello there. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zaid Shah. I have a radio show on Thursday. I'm plugging it.
Feel free.
4:30 till 6. Drive time with Zaid Shah. I'm by profession. I'm a maths teacher. School maths teacher, secondary school maths teacher, for my sins. And apart from that, my spare time is spent with my 2 grandsons, Muhammad Yusuf and Muhammad Isa.
All right, okay. So, like I says, we are going to be touching up on our very first topic, first of all. So, as they say, age is a number, as the saying goes. Now, the number of years need not make you old at all. So, age is only a 3-letter word. Now, it is not the enemy. It takes nothing away from you, and it only adds dividends to your dignity, your wisdom, and also to your strength as well. So, according to research and data as well, some ages are better than others to tie the knot, and there are ages that are predestined for divorce as well. So we're looking at the best and worst ages to get married. So if you would like to take part in this discussion, feel free to ring in on 01902 972 150 or text in on 07 440 420 432. So listeners and my lovely panel here, is there such a thing as best and worst ages to get married?
Well, Alvina, I was doing a bit of research
Were
online.
you?
And I read on there, I think it's a university in Michigan, that the best age to get married for a man is 32.
Okay.
And if you get married at that age, apparently, you're less likely to get divorced in the first 5 years.
Oh, right.
So, and if you're a bit younger, they're saying that the divorce rate's higher, so I don't know.
Okay, so you're saying 32?
32.
Okay. Iram.
I'll be honest, I don't think there's a set age. I think age, in fact, age is not a deciding factor except for legally, besides the legal factor. I think it's more on when a person is ready
Yeah.
from both perspectives, uh, and especially if you know each other really well. I think the earlier you get together and, try and get to know each other, it works out better.
Okay, so we got 32, and you can't specifically put an age.
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, right, let's go over to Zahid then.
Yeah, when your mum and dad tell you you got to get married.
You got to get married. Yes, that's going back a long way now, isn't it?
Otherwise, you're going to hit some jutte. Yeah. I think Zainab was right. I got married when I was about 20. 20, and I didn't even realise what was going on.
Yeah.
Because I was still quite young. And so was my wife. And straight away, within a couple of years, you have your first child.
Yeah.
No work. And you're thinking, well, how am I going to bring the child up? Sort of thing. So, we're in a bit of a dilemma here because Islamically, according to Sunnah, it says that, as long as you can afford it, you should get married ASAP.
Yeah.
But I think when you look at this country now, probably 30 odd is the right age because for a male, you're mature at that age. You're probably settled with work as well.
Yeah.
And you've got some aspirations of what you're going to do with your remainder of your life rather than getting married at 20 and not even having a clue what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So do you think it works better, different for women? Do you think they mature quicker and they know what they're doing in their life by the time they're 20 and, they're able to get married at that age, while the men take a lot longer and they need to get all the way up to 30 before they can make...
That's a very good question.
I think you're right. I think women are, as a teacher, the best teachers I've seen have been women, right? Men used to use their male camaraderie to teach, a bit of shouting here and there and a bigger size. But women, they sort of, the way they control the kids in the class as well, very easily. They, so they're a lot more mature and a lot more easier, and I think that works within, the marriage side of things as well. Women do mature a lot quicker than men.
Right. Okay, so let's work through the ages then. So you both thinking 30, 32. Yeah, and Iram's like undecided.
Yeah, because to be honest, one of the things I feel, and maybe because probably this is why it's said in Islam as well, the earlier you get married, I think marriage, and this is where probably there's, a lot of culture, religion, from where your ethnicity, everything comes into play.
Yeah.
And I think what balances everything out is your education.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's a very deciding factor. So if you say, for example, when girls get married early, they have better chances of adapting themselves.
Yeah.
Of they're flexible, they have an open mind, and it's so for example, two people, they meet at college, they get to know each other, they come together for the right reasons. It's better to be married and have that journey than having, so it's about why you're getting married than when you're getting married.
Yeah, it's like growing together, isn't it?
Exactly.
So-
Because my, like based on my experience or based on my exposure, I feel that, a lot of people say that, yes, let me get settled. But what's the definition of a settled?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
be in your
You
40s.
get, it's like when they say, let's get comfortable, then we have kids. When is that position going to be, like, for example, like I had my first kid when I was in uni, I just got married and I contemplate, looking back now, if I had, what was very thoughtful and it was in my hands, I probably wouldn't have had my kid at all.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't never, so it goes with the marriage, I feel as well, that how can you decide, say, you get married to somebody who's very well settled. Unfortunately, you lose all the wealth. What happens then?
Yeah.
So, it's I think the mindset about, it should be not when you get married, it's more on why you're getting married.
Right. Okay. So if we have a look now, so, some people are saying that the best age. Yes, Zahid.
Can I just sort of add something there?
Yeah,
I
of course
mean,
you can. Yes.
do you have to get married?
Well,
yes.
Islamically, you
Yes.
have to. Yes.
Half of it.
I
I-
think,
If you had your way, I don't think you would you?
to be honest,
Well,
I would be very confident in saying this, that yes, I think one of the root causes on a lot of social disbalance and a lot of unhealthy practices currently in around the world, not just here UK, around the world, is purely because the institution of marriage has been distorted.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And I was very very happy. Probably maybe a lot of people may say, oh my god, what she's saying, but I feel the way the institution of marriage is respected here in UK, where people really take it seriously when they make that commitment. I think that outlook is appreciative. I don't say live-in relationship is good, not promoting that, but I think the fact that marriage is something which is essential.
Yeah, I'm just going to go into text message here. It says, Alvina, interesting topic and good to air it. Thank you, whoever sent that in. I think I've got an idea who it might be. Okay, so yes, interesting. Some people are saying that the best age is 23. Now, obviously, this is just based on what Asian mothers think of what the perfect age is to get married, or it would be basically. Now, for getting married early or on time, or late, well, early is before 23, obviously. So on time, they say, is between 23 and 27, and late is 28 and older. Now, men give themselves a few years leeway. So early means before 26, on time is between 27 and 30, and late is 30 or older. What are your thoughts on that? I know you've said obviously 32, 30.
I think what it is in this country, look, I've got to be careful how I say it. Because I don't want to say anything inappropriate yet, because we're on an Islamic radio show. But if a man gets married at the age of 32, right, he's going to have to be a saint, isn't he?
Yeah.
A proper saint, if he hasn't, committed any inappropriate acts, if you know what I mean. Right? So when you look at it from that perspective, as Muslims, you've got to try your best to, look at getting married early. Otherwise, the freedom that you got, not just in, the UK, it's all over the world now, isn't it? Right? Even in Pakistan, countries like India, you look at social media now and you're thinking, okay, right, this is, that was a third world country. It still might be a third world country, but social media isn't demonstrating that, is it?
No, it isn't. Right. Okay. You ready for the next stage?
Yeah, go on.
Give it to me, as I was saying. Okay, so the best other age is, the saying is 25. So getting married when you join the quarter century club, as they say, is good for men and their lifespans. The longer a man is married, the longer he will live. Now, the optimum age to get married is 25. Now, men's health benefits from marriage, regardless of age as well. So, in fact, it's the single men who are more likely to die younger than their married counterparts. What do you think, panel?
Is
Oh
that,
my God!
is that because they're not getting their mums, they're eating out, or they're not getting the
Possibly.
the
I mean,
benefits from wife cooking and
I thought with all the stress that you have with married life,
You're
you'd
gonna
be
die
dying.
You're not gonna die.
Yeah, you're dying earlier.
Well, the thing is, when you're single, what do you tend to do?
you probably better take away. I think.
Exactly, that's it. And I know one individual who has been living on takeaways, who's had his blood test done, and the results are terrible. They're appalling, basically. So again, I think with this, I mean, obviously, everyone has ups and downs in their marriage, no matter what age or when you get
Yeah.
married and things like that. But I think that's quite healthy, isn't it?
And it's also about loneliness, mental health, isn't it? At the end of the day, how many friends are going to entertain you and for how long? And
Yeah.
like I said, it's a journey, and it's about being companions with each other. Knowing somebody in and out, without saying, because as you grow older, you start losing your own mind, your own
Yes.
this thing, and
Yeah.
if you're with somebody who's caring, who's affectionate, that will to live is more.
Right.
That companionship. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty surprised that, men would die younger, not married. I think my husband would beg to
Disagree with
yeah.
that, yes.
That's a very big surprise, honestly. Yeah.
I got more surprises, but let's go straight into this text message. It says, marriage is encouraged from an Islamic perspective and recommended to humanity by all religion scripts. Totally agree with that. And they says, we can't hear Zahid. Speak up, man, or move to the mic.
Is that better? Okay.
Yes, that is
Okay.
better.
All right.
Right, okay. Next best age then, 26. Now, the longer you wait, the less viable partners you can choose from, as women outnumber men. Now, if a woman waits until 30 to get married, there is a 1 in 2 chance she never will. Do you think this is a true statement then?
I thought that it would be easier for a female to get a partner than a male.
Than a male, yeah. But sometimes males are struggling nowadays, aren't they?
I think males will struggle more. Well, I would assume.
Do you think they'll be spoiled for choice? Because the women are outnumbering the men.
I think the problem is, with men, even if they grow old, they still want, like their choice or their, their choice is still stuck on certain things,
Yeah.
Whereas females are more adaptable and more realistic.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Adaptable and realistic. Okay, let's move on to the next stage then. 27. Now, getting married is a happy occasion for sure, but does it lead to happiness? Now, marrying is your mid to later 20s leads to overall happiness, and that's what they're saying. So those who get married earlier in life, around 23 and younger, have been reported with increased risk of depression in midlife.
Yeah. I've had that for about 20 years.
Oh dear. I hope your wife's not listening, Zahid. Right, okay, let's go on to 20. Sorry, did I do 27? Yes, I did. 28 then. The biggest sign of a good marriage is one that lasts. And according to the National Survey of Family Growth, getting married between 28 and 32 is the lowest risk of divorce.
Yes.
So the age of 18 might be considered adult, but it may be the perfect age to get married as well. So it's touching up basically on your response, isn't it, Zainab?
Yeah, I think, if you're going to get married younger, just because you turned 18 doesn't mean you're mature enough. So it's mentally how mature you are. And,
Yeah.
what kind of, what kind of things are playing a part in your life. For example, you said, if you're younger, you're more likely to suffer from depression in mid, like having a midlife crisis, for example. And I think that is because you haven't really excelled in the things that you want to excel in. For example, you might want to pursue a certain career. You might want to get a really nice house. You might want to, get a certain bank balance. And I think you kind of, and I think that plays a big part in marriage as well.
It
so
does.
as you're growing together and you marry younger, those are going to be the areas that are going to be like problem areas for you.
Right, okay. My screen's getting a bit blank here. Let me just put that right. Okay, let's go into a text message here. Let's have a look. Oh, the system's playing up. Hold on. If the text message comes up, I don't know. Okay, let's have a look at the next age then. Oh, it's come up. Let's have a look. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, I think the system's really gone down now. Okay, so let's go back into the other categories of questions then. And let's have a look.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go on, feel free.
Well, recently there's been a lot of South Asian men going back to Pakistan and India and marrying 60-year-olds marrying 19, 20-year-old girls. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you mean older men going back marrying young girls. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I haven't seen it the other way yet, but yeah.
Well, I mean, personally, it depends on the situation, on the family back home as well, doesn't it? Again, you get good people, good men who have been divorced, who go back looking for another relationship and stuff, and it could be that they are looking for something that they didn't find in their partner here. So it could be that they might have got married into that family if the girl's a lot. I mean, obviously a 10-year age gap difference, sometimes 15, sometimes 20. It depends on the individuals. And again, if somebody from here goes back, it's usually because they're going to support the poor family or they're helping the relatives out. It could be anything really. It depends what they're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah, or their current marriage is broken down, and they just want to, start over again. Maybe.
Could be, yes.
So,
Yeah.
so you're happy with that, like 60-year-old going and getting married to 18, 19-year-old?
It happens though, but it's something
If-
that we
if
can't
they are
control, is it?
marrying, Yeah, if they are marrying, like again, for the right reasons, it's better than getting married to a 20-year-old who's a drunkard and who doesn't work and beats you up and has financial constraints. So it's a choice, or it's about the intention. And again, you can hide the intention from people, but it's never hidden from Allah.
Or it could
So,
be,
yeah.
sorry to
No.
interrupt you, or it could be just that they're probably going through a midlife crisis themselves and they think they need to find a younger partner,
Yeah, but either way, what I think what Brother Zahid is saying, if they're going through that and they're just getting married for it's not fair on the girl, sometimes. But what I'm trying to address here is that if the intent is right, and if they still look after that person, that age gap doesn't matter.
Yeah. Again, it just depends on
It depends
particular
on the
circumstances, doesn't it?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
And the family and stuff. And I think both the individuals will have the say whether they want to get married or not. But sometimes the girls, which I find, is they marry just to sort of keep the peace within the family or to go along with the
And a lot
what
of
the
girls,
parents'
they
decision is,
prefer-
basically.
I mean, if we, I've heard girls saying, "Oh, I don't mind marrying a rich and an old man because
sugar daddy.
yeah, not that terminology, but it's more of as long as he takes care of me. I mean,
Yeah.
why not? So,
Yeah.
and I'm talking about quite well-educated, capable girls.
Yeah.
They're like, why should it always be the wife taking care of the husband? Why not him taking care of me, and both emotionally,
Sugar
mentally,
daddy.
physically, financially? Sorry. So yeah.
Right. Okay. So best age 30 then. So starting a family can be good for women's health and she may live longer for it. A study found that women who become pregnant in their 30s or older have a higher life expectancy than if they had children in their 20s. So ladies, this one's for you. At what age did you have your firstborn then? And would you agree with the findings? We've got 30 seconds before we go into the break.
Okay, I was 31 years old when I had my first child.
Okay, right.
And if that means I'm going to live longer,
Well,
that's
well
good
there
news
you
for
go.
me.
This is what the survey's saying.
Yeah.
I had my first one at 24.
Okay.
So I think it's fine, And again, if it makes me live longer.
So what happens if somebody's in their 40s?
I'm going to come on to that. We're going to go straight into our break now and I will answer your questions, Zainab. So we will see you right back straight after the break. Okay, welcome back. And we are back with Loose Sisters. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll go straight into some text messages before we commence. We're talking about age and marriage, and this one says, in my opinion, the ideal time for marriage is the younger age rather than delaying and falling into having relationships out of wedlock. They go on to say, in an ideal world, and if we ask ourselves honestly, we would all be married sooner and be settled. However, due to the rat race and materialistic world we live in, we push and we strive to buy house, car, and have perfect setups. This ultimately delays us getting married and settling down. All this is assuming you want to settle and get married. Some may wish to just live a single life, such to their own. Sorry, each to their own. So what do you think, guys? Would you agree with that statement made?
I think they're right about the rat race
Mm.
because I think we're always, after the next best thing.
Yeah.
You want to get the best for your family. I mean, now that, I am married and I've got children, what I want to do is provide for them and make sure they've got the best.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that kind of feeds on to them. So when they're older, they'll think, this is what we need to achieve, maybe before we want to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, and you always want to be like, they're saying the next to the Joneses.
Yeah.
So you want to, if you see your next door neighbor having a better car, you want a better car.
You better go. I know, that's
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, obviously, if people stick and say, "Oh, my next door neighbour's got this, I'm going to do one bigger than that,"
Yeah.
and I think that's a wrong way to go around things. I think you need to look at your situation, your pocket, and people just lead themselves into debt, don't they?
Yeah.
As soon as they get married.
There's no list to it, isn't it? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
not just that, the social media doesn't help.
True.
Yeah, 'cause,
Yes.
they see all these fancy cars, fancy houses,
Mm.
lavish lifestyle, all
Yeah.
these foreign holidays.
Yes.
And I think we start wanting those things
Mhm.
before, actually, think about marriage, which is more
Yeah.
important than getting all those things first.
Mm. Right. Okay. Zahid's very quiet. I'm getting a bit worried now.
He's
I
thinking.
I think he's thinking about his iftari now, isn't he?
No, I'm just listening quite,
Okay. So you carry on listening and feel free to chip in. Okay. So the best age 32 then. Now, this is the latest that you should get married if you want to have kids. Now, the natural way, of course. So if you want children, you should plan to do it before the age of 32, which is peak fertility. But if you want to have a few years to be child-free and give yourself a few years to try for kids, you'll have to minus that from 32. So wait until 35 or 36 or later, and the female reproductive system may have other plans. Now, this is when fertility begins to drop. Of course, pregnancy can happen, but the later in life women try to have children, the more likely they will need medical help, such as fertility, or consider surrogate or adoption. Would you agree? I know you said you got married at
I got married at about 29. But
29, but yeah.
I had my first child at 31.
Okay, so, okay.
It wasn't on my age now. And I have had a child in my 40s, so,
Okay.
So it is difficult when you're older.
Mm.
So,
It's,
you
a,
know.
it's like
It
the
is, it
draw,
is.
the straw sort of thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I think it wasn't the fact that I had my child in my 40s. I just feel I'm too old to run after her.
And run after.
Yeah,
It
I
does
think-
catch up,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I agree with what you just mentioned.
No, I think I got married, quite young, but my eldest daughter, she's 30, and the two boys are 25 and 18. And I think for me, what's been pleasing is that we're all big, massive cricket players in our family. My daughter actually was a good football player, which I've seen in the young boys. But I've actually played cricket with both my boys. Obviously they're both better players than me now. But the youngest one, Zakaria, we played in the same side for a couple of years.
Okay.
So, it was pleasing that, he was looking up at me and saying, oh, Dad's a good player. Obviously now I'm looking the other way. But, by marrying young, I had the opportunity to spend time with him by playing something that we all enjoyed. If I'd been maybe a bit later, like in my 30s, maybe I wouldn't been able to do that.
Right.
That's true.
Okay. Right, let's go to this one then. So, best age before 40 or 50. Now, more and more couples in their 40s and 50s are foregoing wedded bliss for living together. So, what do you think about this? And also, they're saying that it's the fastest growing demographic for cohabitating, with a 75% growth since 2007. So, finding a suitable partner, career-minded, they're just not interested in paying for a wedding and all the red tape that comes with sharing finances and family. So do you think people are leaving 40, 50 too late? And again, there's issues of less divorces, and then people at that age are a lot more maturer and they know what they're looking for in their partner. Do you think that's the right way to go around it?
There isn't a problem with that because you're right about the weddings. Are we going to talk about the cost of?
Yes,
Asian
we
weddings?
are. Yes,
So
yeah.
you,
After
you don't
this,
you don't want me to touch on that
no,
now? then?
not just
Okay.
yet. No, you're jumping the gun. I feel like I shouldn't have shared those questions with you now, Zahid.
No. What it is that if they get married at 40 or 50, that's okay.
Yeah,
Islamically, that's acceptable, isn't it? You know, if they're married. But if it's the other way, just living as partners, then obviously that's not acceptable, is it?
no, it isn't. Right. So,
And
okay.
sorry,
Yes.
Alvina. So are you asking that question in terms of the Islamic faith, or are you just asking that generally?
Generally, I'm asking generally because obviously I know loads of people. We all do take into consideration our religion and we do things Islamically with regards to marriage. It's like when people get divorced. Again, the first thing is okay, marriage. Think about it. But there are some people who are divorced and because of the pain, what they've gone through, marriage is the last thing on their minds. You know, so it's like the $64 question, basically, really, isn't it? So you can't really push somebody to get married if they've gone through a divorce. You're nodding your head. Have you had some sort of similar experience from family, friends, or?
Yeah, I think in our culture, I think it's more of cultural, way of thinking that this person, especially if it's a boy, yes, you need to they need to get married, whereas girls, it becomes a big taboo and things like that also get started associated. So sometimes that second marriage puts them even in a more worse situation. And I think that again is about the immaturity or why they are coming together.
You mean like if they're like rushing into it and not really thinking it
Exactly,
through?
yeah,
Thinking, you know what, I need to please my family or I need to please my culture.
There's
Yeah.
so much
You know.
pressure on them, especially I think for the girls especially, it becomes more of a social stigma.
But it could be that they want to get married again. Do you know what I mean?
Could
No,
be,
no.
yes.
So this is why I'm
Yeah.
saying that if they're ready for it and they want to, I think then it's about coming for the right reasons again, not just marrying because they want to get away from this taboo of getting
Yeah.
divorced.
Right.
And sorry, Alvina,
Yep.
so in terms of people who are not of the Islamic faith, I feel that in their 30s and even 40s, they're at a stage where they think, I've got my finances, I've got everything. I don't want to get married and mess things up
Yeah.
and having to give half of what
Half
I've
of
got
everything.
to
Yes.
the other person. So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons they cohabit more and more because, as you know, the divorce rate is higher amongst non-Muslims, and even like the Muslims now, the divorce rate is getting there, but it's not there as yet.
Yeah.
But with like non-Muslim couples,
Yeah.
they'll marry for a couple of years or 1 year, and and they're on to the next person, and the whole system of getting divorced is so stressful that it's better not to
Yeah.
get married than get married. Do you know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah. And I don't think these prenuptial agreements do anything neither, do they? They're not quite legally binding, are they?
Not here, but I think
In
certain
America,
countries,
yes, yeah.
But then it's like laying the stone for breaking a relation before committing to it.
I know.
I found it a bit funny, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
I mean, obviously, people go by experience, by looking at other people's situations. And the last thing they want to do, especially if you're single, find out that, your uncle or family member is going through a divorce and they've been ripped off of all the assets and whatever, when obviously he or she wasn't at fault. And then obviously these prenuptial agreements come in. Now, people are only trying to protect their interests, aren't they, really? And you can't really sort of disagree with them for doing that. So what we'll do, we'll conclude this now and we'll move on to our next subject. So in conclusion, what we have established is that we are a society that have been conditioned to marry right after college, or in some areas right after high school, as some of us have. The culture has a map for us, and if we don't follow the silent order, we feel that we are doing something wrong and will be left behind and ultimately alone in love. Now, in our earlier discussions as well, we've also established that there isn't necessarily a best age to get married, but there definitely is a best time to get married. Now, the best time to get married is when you feel comfortable and confident in your job and personal life. So if you were to give yourself an exact age, you might find that you settle for whoever you're with at that age as well. So let's move on to our next topic then. Now, it has been reported that the UK British Asian wedding industry is worth over £3 billion a year, with the average Asian couple spending over £50,000 on their wedding, with costs only expected to grow. I think we need to get, I was going to say get him a glass of water because I think he's got a frame, but he's fasting. I can hear him sighing here. Now, while
Can't believe it.
I know, carry on listening to this now. So while many Western weddings, prices can vary from £2,000 right up to £30,000 and perhaps even more. Now, the Sikh, Muslim and Hindi weddings quite often have a minimum starting budget of £30,000 due to the number of events, rituals and that complete these weddings, along with a large guest list which can reach up to a huge 1,000 attendees. So, panel, we live in an age of extravagant and lavish weddings. So what is the average cost, do you think, that Muslim Asian families spend?
I think for a small wedding,
Mm-hmm.
and I know with Punjabi or Hindi weddings, there's like a lot of people that come to the weddings, but because of the COVID and everything, I think the cost has substantially gone down. So I would say between 10 and 20,000. Because I don't think we have. It depends on your family size as well and how many people you know in the area and how many people you want to invite. So if you want a smaller wedding, so maybe between 10 and 20,000 if you want to save the rest for a house or a nice holiday.
So do you think COVID has sort of got people thinking about, I mean, obviously the weddings were at a stop, weren't they, completely? Funerals where only 2 people could attend or 4 people could attend at weddings and stuff. So do you think it's a good thing that COVID came along and it's got people thinking about expenditure on weddings?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because seriously, I think it's a good thing because now you can think about obviously just inviting your close family members and friends if you want, just 2-3 friends.
But are people still thinking about it? They're just restricting the numbers due to COVID.
They are restricting numbers due to COVID, you're right. But if you have a look at the average Asian wedding, you've got like people who spend on lavish venues, prestige cars.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
It is
isn't it?
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the thing is, you know, I'm so glad that COVID has come along with regards to things like this because, you know, £50,000 for a wedding for somebody somebody like myself who's working class. Teachers get paid rubbish salaries anyway, right? You know, how are you gonna save £50,000? You're gonna have to go into debt, aren't you?
Of course, yeah.
And you know, why should you? You know, I'm hoping that the youngsters who are listening to this can also maybe take something away from this as well, so that they don't put their parents into debt because they want to get married to somebody that they like or whatever, and they want to have this massively.
And this is something which actually bewilders me, to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
that our religion, Islam, and
Meant to have a very simple wedding.
it's one of the most simple ways, and I think we need to teach our children that that routing has to be, because people who are capable enough to do a lavish wedding, when they go for simple weddings or when they opt for simple ways of doing things, I think that's how we have to, because that cultural and religious separation has to be made, and I think
Yeah.
that's a big.
But having said that, because of the COVID, I just feel within my own family and, within, people I've spoken to at work and who have had weddings in the during the lockdown are saying that, you know what, really, this is the best way.
Yeah.
We've saved a lot of money and, this is got other people thinking around them.
Of course,
so
yes,
there may
yeah.
be a trend that's following. So we might not see it now. Maybe in a couple of years.
You
we see
never
that.
know, guys. We might start the trend here today. You never know. Right. Okay. Now, a good start to planning the cost of your Asian wedding is to get a budget for each event, work towards that, and what your compromises are. Quite often, as you know, Asian weddings consist of 4 major events. So you've got the dolki, the sangeet, the mendi, the wedding ceremony, and the wedding reception as well. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. So, guys, I want you to talk me through the dolki and the sangeet. I mean, is this really needed? What's the relevance here?
No, not really. It's not needed. It's just it's cultural. It's not Islamic. I don't agree with it. I never have. But it's another cost that is there, and it's expensive.
It is expensive, but somebody might say to you, look, okay, if we're having a dolki night, it's an excuse for us to get together,
Yeah,
for
that's
us
what
to
I was
have
gonna say.
fun, enjoy, spread happiness. People love singing, people love dancing.
Back home, I think probably what used to happen was, because they were joint families, families used to just come together,
Yeah.
and that was how dholki was done,
Right.
because but I think as things have become more and more commercialized, that cost has started adding up. So if it's just like you just mentioned, if we're just getting together and that's celebrating, then that's a different way. But then if you're having a venue, a theme, and then you have to have specific food and then photography. That's
It
how
all
the
adds-
commercial
yeah,
elements start
yeah.
adding up.
I think
so.
people want to do that because they want to show their photos off on
I
social
agree.
media.
I agree. The social
Absolutely.
media.
Yeah.
I think it's more about social media
Yeah.
than actually enjoying the event. So they could probably still do it, have
Yeah.
a smaller event,
Yes.
have their family and friends over, but don't make it so extravagant.
Exactly.
But they want to show on social media that they had a fantastic time.
Oh,
It's more
okay.
about showing than actually
Yes.
having it.
It's about the picture on Instagram and
Yeah.
Facebook than actually
Than anything
enjoying it.
else.
Yes.
Okay. What about the mendi then? Is that important?
Oh yeah, me putting the mehndi on the hand.
Oh, go Iram.
Whether the bride puts it or not, it's a different thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it should be more of a family affair, and I think
Yeah.
that's how it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Again, it's just a little party for
Yeah,
the women
yeah.
to get together as well and close female friends, isn't it?
Have you noticed it's all about the women?
Yeah. Well, you have to have your say. Come on. I mean, come on. Oh, okay, let's go over to Zahid. Did you have a mendi?
Yeah.
No, the thing is no. I mean, I think I had about 5,000 people at my wedding in Pakistan. I was meeting people after 20 years and saying, I came to your wedding.
Okay.
So the thing is, it's. I don't think there's a harm in having family get-togethers. As what the sisters are saying here, right? But then when you have a mendi and then you have to invite the whole town, that goes beyond. Do you know what I mean?
And the outfits and,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
cost again,
Yeah.
it just adds
It
up.
just adds up. You're
And,
right. Yeah.
and not just the outfits, but the outfits have to match. Sorry, by the way.
Within the family.
Yeah.
They have to have a theme, yes.
Right. Okay. What about the wedding ceremony then? The nikah then?
That should be purely how Islam says. 5 people in the mosque. That's it.
Or even at home. But I think what's happened with that as well. It's been hijacked, I would say, by social media.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to look really good on their nikah and they want that perfect picture. And some of the outfits, I mean, back 15 years ago when I got married, my wedding outfit cost around £500 to £600.
Okay.
And now you can't even get a
Get-
party dress for that. And there's ridiculous prices for some of the dresses.
Yes,
Like
you're right.
£2,000-3,000 that
Yes.
you're going to wear for a few hours and you're
Yes.
never going to wear again.
That's it. I mean, what about the Bharat as well? I mean, obviously you have people coming on a white horse,
And
the Dullah coming on the white
and
horse,
half of them are never happy,
helicopters.
isn't it? Half of them are never happy.
Never.
No matter what you do, they're never happy.
Absolutely.
You don't want to sit on the horse.
Because if they come on a horse, they want a helicopter. If they come on a helicopter, they wanted a
Absolutely.
jet plane. And if they land up in a jet plane, they need something else. So it's like, something or the other.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. Okay, what about the walima, the wedding reception?
Again,
Could we not just do it on the nakah and then do the
just
rukhsati?
finish it off.
you know?
Finish it off there and then, and
But the
sort it.
walima is like
The big finale.
yeah, that has to be done because it's the
Well,
man's side.
Yeah, do the
Yeah.
nikah and the walima together, and that reduce
Yes.
costs as well.
Yeah. So
Have some kind of an ultimatum with with both families to say, this is what we want to do. If we can save some money on this, we can give it to them so they can put it on a deposit on a house or something.
Yes, yeah.
Wouldn't that be
recently, I
better?
have seen that trend happening in quite a few of, at least in the Indian community. I've seen that trend recently, say in the last 2 years or so. I think it's probably driven by the children, where they say, have one function, one big function, and give us the money for our house or for
Yeah.
a car. Or
And I think, in terms of the cost, I know with Muslim weddings, there is like between 20 and 30 or even 50 grand. But I think with Indian weddings or whether like Punjabi weddings, they have the alcohol in there as well.
Yeah. Yes,
the
yeah.
alcohol costs about 20-30 grand.
That's what I
Wow.
mean. So even that, and even they have like very, I think they have bigger functions than we do.
They do,
they
yeah.
have 10
And I
days
think
on an average.
on
yeah.
theirs as well. I think it's the bride's father who pays for everything, isn't it?
I don't know.
No, that's not the case. But yes, the number of functions are quite
And they add
elaborate,
up.
and the cost is usually shared across, but it's more. A
Well, the
lot
uncle
comes to the
pays.
I was about to say
The
it's
uncle
it's
pays.
the mama, the
Oh,
the
right, okay.
the mother's
Brother.
brother
Yeah.
who has to really who has to shell out quite a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
with the outfits, I think they have to have a number of outfits that they have to give to the bride.
Wow. That's just adding on, isn't
that's
it?
like yeah.
That's more of a cultural trend. That's even in Muslims. You have like you have to have 10 or 15 or something like that. But it is a lot on the
Yeah, but if you look at Islam now, we've said that it should be simple, but because as a Pakistani community, it was all one, wasn't it, before India, right? A lot of the traits that we've got are from the Hindus, isn't it? Culturally,
Yeah.
right? And that's how we do our weddings.
I don't know if I'll say if it's like I
think I
said, it's
agree
more
with
of
you.
It is.
It's not because of, I wouldn't say it's because of the Hindus, because like I said, it's more customary. It's not derived only.
Do you think it's more like a trend that people are following? Yeah.
It's and also like if we go back to the old times, the reason why these many functions used to happen, there were other underlying reasons. It used to ensure that because the bride where the bride and bridegroom's house, there was a lot of money, there was a lot of jewelry. You remember, there was a lot of costly things.
Yeah.
So ensuring there was a function and there are lots of people used to ensure safety of the place. And these are these were underlying reasons why a
I
lot
don't know
of
about
things
Whit
used to happen.
Marines.
This is how when you go back, when you do the cultural aspect of it, and I wouldn't say that it's come from Hindus, because it's
Because they have very similar rituals.
Okay, we're
like
going
us.
to just go into a break. An interesting topic, but we'll come back to this after the break.